units A211 at 675 Main. Backup needed.
Pablo Picasso once said, "Art is theft." And with nothing new under the sun, it's hard to refute that claim. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I end them with a "I love you so much" abbreviation. For those of you who watch the great Jake Fru's channel, you know that I got that from him. Am I ripping him off? I don't think so, and I'll explain why at the end of the video where this outro should be. This video isn't trying to refute the fact that art is theft. Austin Kleon, in his little gem of a book, Steal Like an Artist, takes us deep into why that is, and how we should best go about it without straight up stealing from the artists. I personally got a ton out of this book, and we'll show you how my art got better and was created using the masterful techniques, designs, and color palettes of some of the best artists of the modern era. When we love a piece of work, we're desperate for more. We crave sequels. Why not channel that desire into something productive? Austin Kleon. 1000 is a YouTube juggernaut. He's been crushing the YouTube space for years. And most recently, he did a Kickstarter campaign for a deck of playing cards that raised over $2 million in backing. Needless to say, people like his work. I was excited to try out his art techniques. So when I decided to create delicious kombucha for people to try out, I decided to make labels for each of them as well. Kombucha is a fermented tea that is then sweetened and carbonized using fruits and herbs. Now, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from all 7 of these designs, which may be better for another video. But for the time being, I want to go into this one and show you how it came about. The end of the amazing epic saga that was 1000's YouTube series was coming to an end. And honestly, I couldn't get enough of it. I was taken away by the awesome art and his drive on including his fans' ideas. Having never done a canvas that duplicates itself on all 4 sides, I decided to give it a go, stumbling pretty atrociously at first. I decided I needed to take a little bit of his work to help me get started. So I drew over the woman's face. Miraculously, that worked. And within another couple hours, I had not only a card back, but a whole drawing in the 1000 style, mixing it in with my kombucha brand, Southern Sun. Over 40 people were at the release party, and it was a blast to share the recipes. This label was one of the favorites of the party, and it gave me a bridge to say, have you heard about 1000? Have you seen his epic work? So cheers to you, 1000. Keep making awesome art that inspires millions. The only art I'll ever study is stuff I can steal from. David Bowie. So much can be said about a TV show that got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Though I've never played League of Legends, and you don't have to enjoy this, this show captured my attention from its first scene to its last. Can we just gawk at this artwork? Each frame is a masterpiece in and of itself. So why not combine that with something else that's great? This is where beer comes in. That delicious beverage that is consumed across the world. Over 6.4 billion gallons of it is drank every year around the globe. And on each of these comes a label that gives you a sense of the brand and the beer itself. My best friend started brewing beer 7 years ago, and with each new batch, I put together a design for his microbrew, Mountain Medicine. It was a short time after finishing Arcane that my friend told me that batch number 7 was on its way. I decided to create something from the beauty and art that inspired me, and this is what I came up with. Keeping in line with the Mountain Medicine theme, my friend had started brewing an imperial ale. This demanded a design of epic proportion, and after sketching out some sloppy starters for him to choose from, his choice was beavers. This led me to the taking of the Arcane color palette. I chose from 3 main scenes: the plains, the hideout, and Silco's lair. There are few wooded areas in this world, so having the hideout was my best shot at making this wood work. Look at this blue and teal. It's already there prior to me putting it underwater, and it makes such a great scene. I wanted green mountains around the water, not plains. Most of this show takes place in a city, so I had to build my own with the plains, smearing and duplicating to get the effect that I wanted. And lastly, there was the water. I had thought to just keep the colored pencil and boost up the color, but this didn't seem to work, and it took away from the actual piece. So Silco's lair was a great backdrop. Mixing this all in and adding beavers to tie this all together, and voila, Arcane's beautiful scenery helped me create something that I never thought possible. Now, let's crack open a cold one. It's right there in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9. I stumbled across Magdiel Lopez in an Adobe conference workshop. This man humbly champions the idea that practice makes perfect. He's done a poster a day to get better at his Photoshop skills, and boy, does it show. Most can be found on his Behance page. I encourage all of you to go get inspiration from it. This is where one of my other creative pursuits comes in: writing. Since 10th grade, I've been practicing the craft. Though I've almost finished 4 books, I had to put 2 to the sideline because I didn't like where they were going, and I know that they need to be reworked. As of 3 months ago though, I've finished my 2nd novel. And like my first one, I commemorated the occasion by designing a book cover. Here we have Nicholas Navarro's Gloom. This comes from a poster that Magdiel did. Set in the desert, my book is a dark take on a boy's life after he's caught cheating on his girlfriend. It takes place close to where I grew up, and it had to evoke the sensation of gloom prevalent throughout the novel. I think I was definitely able to capture that emotion and greatly appreciate what you showed the world with your designs, Magdiel. If all your favorite makers got together and collaborated, what would they make with you leading the crew? Austin Kleon. So back to the question I posed in the beginning. Am I ripping Jake Frew off by using I love you so much abbreviation. If you go and watch his channel, which I highly recommend you do, you'll see that our art is vastly different. Jake puts profound thoughts on life and travel in ways that I just don't on mine, nor do I want to. His expertise on videography far outweighs mine. For instance, I'm filming this on an iPhone 11 Pro, and I'm 100% okay with that. Because his work inspired me, I took a little bit from it, but not to be a Jake Fruit copycat. Just like I want to give a shout out to some other creators that I've gotten insight and inspiration from, such as Music Vibes that you've heard on this channel from Nico Bellic, a running channel, or branding and design that I got from the great Becky and Chris. The color grading of all of this from Nicholas Crystal. And if anyone asks, I'd say I want to be the Dammy Lee of BookTube, an architecture channel that just has the best visuals and stories that you can come across. And then there's me, adding my own spice to the sauce. I have yet to see a booktuber painstakingly animate every book cover that he's done. And I'm about a 50-50 mix on fiction and nonfiction, because I believe both have a crucial role to play in our lives. All this mixes in to who I am as a creator. I'm taking stuff that other people have done and spinning it with my own creativity. My domain is digging deep into how books can shape our thoughts and lives, and through editing, make that accessible and tangible to everyone. If that rings true with you, thanks for stopping by. Meg Diel inspired me for one of the covers of my books. But what about the context? Check out who in the first link in the video description below.